Hello friends, I'm Larry with Rides Done Right, and this is Journey to Track Days. Hello! Yeah. Boy, that was nice.
His car was already built by Strictly Street Rods. He got wiped out in the 4-lane stop.
I can have the most talented guy in there, but if he's not jiving with the rest of the crew, it's just a bad.
Drives the truck, drives the car, he flies the plane. Do you get paid 3 times?
No.
This show, top 5 in America.
Alright, well, Rebecca's not here, but we gotta get started because this takes a while. Okay, so this one's on scrubbing speed, which is Ken's number 4 in Order Sport. So, we talked on vision and focus, motor controls. Hopefully they're watching, instructors out there watching them, but this entails a lot of motor controls, and then we're going to talk about the concept of braking here. Imagine when we're using a brake lever, if I was telling you guys, stop! Mark, take it easy, take it chill. Now I say to you, scrub some speed, shave some speed, just slow down, take some feet per second off, miles per hour off. It's a different concept. And so how we approach this brake lever, I think, is everything. We're really not stopping. When we're on the street, unless it's a stop sign or a stop light, we don't stop. And on the track, we don't stop ever, supposedly, okay? So the concept of stopping, I want to erase from your mind. It's actually shaving speed or scrubbing speed, or as Ken puts it in Ken Hill's podcast, the brake lever is nothing more than a tool to put the bike in the position to accelerate. That was a game changer for me. Oh, that's what I'm trying to accomplish with this. I'm not trying to stop the bike. I'm not trying to slow to make the corner. I'm just trying to put the bike in the position to accelerate. Big difference. Big difference in that. So
Redirection tool.
it is. It's a redirection tool. So think about that. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get that bike to the apex, just past the apex, or just before the apex, depending on the corner, where it's a position that we can drive off the corner. When you take a track map, and if you color when you're on the throttle of any kind, green, and when you're on the brakes or off the throttle slowing down any kind, it's usually about 65 to 75% green and 25 to 35% red, which means we're on the throttle more than we're on the brake. So it's a concept. That's why the brake lever is put the bike into position to accelerate, because we're on the gas more. We're not on the brakes more, so we want to be able to put the bike in position to accelerate. So think about that's what we're trying to accomplish. On any corner, looking at point 2 here is, we want to do 1 lever pull per corner. That doesn't mean that there's some adjustability to that 1 pull, but it's not this, where it's brake, let go, brake, no, that's a little bit more, no, wait, no, yes, now I have it right. That is not how we want to brake, okay? It's nice to pull in, maybe some modulation of brake pressure, and slowly release the brake. That's how 1 lever pull per corner looks. If it's a long sweeping corner, that's going to be really slow. If it's a corner like turn 2 over here going backwards today, okay, where you're on the brakes and you're sort of tipping in or off, every corner's different. But the concept is slow in, steady, slow out. That's how we're going to apply the brake. So 1 lever pull per corner is key. Trick question, guys. How many fingers should we use on the brake lever? Cheater, you read that. You're right. There's no number. I don't care how many fingers you use with that brake lever, as long as you can be consistent, predictable, and stay within yourself, whatever. I list here, if you've ever watched a hand camera of Valentino Rossi, he's a 4-finger breaker. You watch a hand camera of Marco Melandri, he's a 1-finger breaker. Most guys are 2, some are 3. Again, like he said.
What are you?
Huh? Yeah, e-brake. You're a full hand. You get the elbow involved, exactly. That's fun in a rental, by the way. You should try that.
What are you, Mark?
Well, I'm a multi-finger because my hand, I suffer from numbness. So if I'm in a race or a long track day section, I can start with 2. Then my hand goes numb, and I got to use my 3rd finger, feel it gets really numb, and then I go to 4. That's how I manage
I
it.
severed the tendon of my thumb, that huge knot right there, and
Yeah.
I can't bend my thumb anymore. So I can't wrap the thumb around the thumb, so I have 2
Yeah.
I gotta have the other fingers
Yeah.
sold off.
I bet. Yeah. A buddy of mine, Lash, he lost these 2 fingers in a crash. And so he's a 1-finger breaker. I think he breaks with this finger but holds on with his pinky. And he has a nub here. So, again, I don't care how many fingers you break. What I'm gonna talk about next is whatever fingers you're using, how we're gonna use those fingers. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? That sounds wrong. So, keep that in mind. Yes, yes. We're all on a sport bike, except he's on a kind of streetish sport bike, but even his bike. Most sport bikes have such a short center of gravity, short wheelbase, high center of gravity, let's get it right, that you can do a rolling stopping. I don't know if you can on the FGR, but I bet it's probably possible.
It's a lot longer, though.
Yeah.
I think it's 600.
Yeah, it's heavy. You know, the longer wheelbase you get, the more rear brake you can use. And actually, a street cruiser will stop in a shorter distance than a sport bike. I used to not believe that until I watched it happen. And I've talked to Nick Einash and Ken Hill who have done tests, and they say, oh yeah. And the reason is because on a sport bike, you start braking hard, up comes the rear wheel. So all you can use is the front tire. On a street cruiser, you brake hard, you can use a rear brake about 30%, and the front about 70%, and you can get that bike to stop even though it weighs almost twice as much. It'll stop at a shorter distance because of that. So since we're on sport bikes, and you're close to a sport bike, 90 to 95% of that braking is done by the front wheel. So I want you guys to mentally take your rear brake off today and just get rid of your rear brake. The rear brake will cause, at the racetrack, more problems than it will help. It's not that we're going to ever, for our whole track riding career, get rid of it, because there are applications we'll talk about. But for today on the brakes, get rid of the brake lever, the rear brake lever. I don't want you using it. Unless, when we're on asphalt, front brake. When we're on dirt, meaning we run off the track, rear brake. Because the coefficient of friction between rubber and dirt is like -1. When you're on the dirt and you go to grab your front brake, all of a sudden it folds and you do a digger, that's not good. So if you happen to run off track, rear brake. When you're on asphalt, front brake. But for the rest of the day, as best you can, don't use your rear brakes. Now, is your bike linked?
So mine's linked.
So
I
you can't do that.
cheat without it.
Don't you have ABS?
You,
Yeah, it's
I know that bike. You
Yeah.
can hit that pedal and just lay into it.
Yeah.
Because it does like a 70-30 automatic.
well, we all know you're cheating, so at least you've been upfront about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys, I want you guys to do that as best you can to let go of that. And you're saying, Mark, I need that rear wheel braking. I'm going to teach you a different method. Okay, instead of using the brake lever, I want you to get your downshifts done so that we're going to use engine compression. Remember, if we're braking good, I don't expect you to get it 90-95% braking by the front wheel. I'd be happy with 60 to 70%. And then whatever else the rear is from downshifts and engine compression. So that remaining rear wheel braking that you're going to get is not going to be your rear brake. It's going to be engine compression. Okay, it's a little bit more predictable. So work on that. So think about those two. Front brake asphalt, rear brake dirt. When we're on the asphalt, we're going to try not to use our rear brake at all. And get our downshifts done so we still have rear engine slowing down or compression happening. Now we're going to talk on the concept of loading the tire. And this is an interesting concept. I think this is a game changer in how you ride. Okay, so if we take this tire, and granted it's not on a rim, but I can't put 400 pounds of force, it's only weigh 200 pounds.
I can.
Okay, here you go. When we're going down the straightaway on the gas of some kind, this tire is barely touching. I bet our contact patch is only the size of our fingernail on one of our fingers. It's not much, maybe the size of a dime. So theoretically, and I will say I've proven it, if you do it wrong and grab the brake lever and stab at it while you're on the gas or just letting off, you can mock up the front tire while you're straight up and down. And it's not fun. I didn't crash, but my sphincter, when I said before it was here, my sphincter was coming out my mouth. It was bad. I did it wrong. This is what I was learning. So what we want to do when we go to the brake lever is build brake pressure. We want to build pressure. Ken talks in his podcast about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is getting to that max brake pressure. And what you're doing, I'm going to turn this tire sideways. Imagine me sitting up on it. We're on the gas, and now we roll off the throttle. Now we load it. Watch that contact patch. Granted, there's no rim, but that same thing happens even with air pressure. It's flat. It's got to be the size of the palm of my hand. Now we've got a contact patch we can work with. So what we're doing is loading the tire. Instead of stabbing at the brake lever, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're loading the tire. So when we're straight up and down, would you guys agree that when the bike is straight up and down, let's just say this tire has 100 points of traction at any time. Can we use all 100 points when we're straight up and down for braking? We can, actually. It's not a trick question. When we're straight up and down, we can use all the traction this tire has to brake because we're not asking anything else of it than going straight. Once we build lean angle, some of those points are used to corner the bike. Some of those traction points. At this lean angle, maybe 5 points are used to corner. That leaves 95 left to brake. So we can go up to 95, but if we go to 96, the tire's going to get squirmy or maybe slide out. At this lean angle, we're probably using, let's say, 40 points to corner. That leaves 60 to scrub speed or brake. What about this lean angle? I don't know what it is. Let's call it 90 points of 100 points of traction are used to corner. Do you guys agree? But if I want to be precise about hitting apex, I can grab a teeny bit of brake pressure. As long as I don't go over 10 points, I haven't exceeded 100 points of traction. You follow my logic here? So once we load this tire, it's not that I'm going around the corner with neutral throttle, all of a sudden stab the brake lever. Okay, I've loaded this tire. I've built this contact. Look, I come into the corner like this. Look at that tire's not moving. Okay. I loaded it. If I just do this, now I load it, it sticks. So this is the concept I want to get across to you guys. Load the tire before you really work it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every corner is going to be a different rate of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're not going from 0 to 80% brake pressure in an instant. We're building brake pressure. That's loading the tire. That's why I say here, load the tire before you work the tire. You'd be amazed how much cornering you can do with the brake lever. And Ken talks about making your apex with the brake lever. Remember that the brake lever is a tool to put the bike in the position to accelerate. So if we're running ride, don't just chop the throttle. If you've gone in there, hopefully you're already on the brake lever, stay with the brake lever. Okay, now if you're adding lean angle, you might have to release a little brake pressure. Don't confuse that. Do not confuse that with dumping the brake lever. How you go on the brakes and how you go off the brakes is probably the two most important techniques rather than the middle portion. Because dumping the brakes all of a sudden unloads the tire. Now guys wash out a front from underloading a tire. Okay? So another concept to think about. Now that we've loaded the tire and we're working the tire, I want you guys to think about longer and lighter on the brakes. Like, Mark, I'm trying to get better on the brakes, not worse. I know. This was a game changer for me in my racing when I was doing this. Most of us come into a corner and we're like, I'm gonna get her deeper. And the bike is sliding around and we're scaring the crap out of ourselves. And we end up over braking because like, I could have gone deeper. Now I'll get back on the gas and re-accelerating the corner and now I'll tip on its side. That's how most beginners and most of us trying to improve and scare ourselves and man up and going in there deeper. I find it doesn't work. It's a really hard thing to do just to scare yourself from going deeper. So what I was taught to do and what worked for me was if I was at a brake marker, for me, whatever my brake marker was, if I was grabbing 80% brake pressure, going 1, 2, 3, 5 and getting 8%, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get to 60% brake pressure. Now I'd carry more speed. And as I got in there deeper, I'd start to slow and kept building lean angle, I'd slowly release the pressure, which is trail braking. We'll talk about that too. But now my entry speed increased. So I was covering more distance in the same amount of time, or for the same time covering less distance or more distance. And so it made my entry speed higher. And I got more precise with brake levers. So being lighter and longer on the brakes actually made me quicker. And then I got to the point where I'm like, well, geez, I'm letting off the brakes and I'm still not even to the point where I want to be. I can go 10 feet deeper because now I know I can. I'm not scaring myself anymore trying to man up. And now I've got all confidence in the world because I'm braking lighter, I'm braking longer. I'm like, I go 30 more feet and still make it really easy. So work on this concept. What it does for you is most people have these 3 settings of the brake lever: 0, 50, and 100. That's their brake pressure. Ah! 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 The brake lever is not an on-off switch. It's a dimmer switch. Infinite adjustability. That's the concept I want to get you guys across. Infinite adjustability. So that's where lighter and longer gets in is you start being more precise. You're going to build precision with this brake lever. Now that you're not on-offing it, you're dimmer switching it. Now you can modulate brake pressure. You can use this. Make a little more sense? I want you to practice that. I know a lot of motorcycle safety foundation schools, when you first get your license, will tell you, get all your braking done while you're straight up and down and then tip the bike in. Okay, sounds great. keeps people safe in concept, but the reality is it's actually safer to turn in on the brakes because now you have the tire loaded, you're not unloading it, and you still have all that brake pressure. How many times have you been on a street ride, come around a corner and seen grass, gravel, a deer, a dog, a soccer mom, a pothole, a guardrail, I don't know what, a rock that's lying in the road? You don't have to stop, but you got to shave another 10 to 15 miles an hour to make it an avoiding move. If your mindset is, oh man, I'm from the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, I can't turn when I have lean angle, what's your choices? I don't like the guardrail, but that's my choice, so I die. But if you're using this, I'm already in there, I'm using the brakes to get out, I see it now, I hold my brake lever, maybe tighten my line, maybe widen my line, but I'm scrubbing speed. Now I've learned I can use the brake lever right, and I can avoid that mistake, and I've just made myself a safer rider. So this is why we teach this. It actually works better. The bike is designed to be turned on the brakes. Geometry works in your favor, your rake angle's less, your weight is on your front. Trust me, turning in with your brake lever on is actually an easier process than just tipping it in with it off. It really is. So I'm going to teach the same thing now, but I'm going to repackage it into zones. But I'm teaching exactly the same thing, so maybe you wrap your mind around a different mindset here. Let's talk about braking zones, okay? We're going to talk about the initial pull, the major braking zone, and the trail braking zone. The initial pull is how are you going to lever? Well, that's, if you guys already recognize, that's loading the tire. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easing up from 0% to whatever your max brake pressure is, or near max brake pressure, that's your initial pull. How are you going to lever? Imagine from here to that barrier down there, which is about 30 yards, maybe in a faster corner it might be 50 to 100 yards, but imagine that distance going from 0 brake pressure here to 60 brake pressure down there. Yeah. That's our initial pull. No different than loading the tire. Okay? Now we're coming into our major braking zone, which is where we're going to hold a steady lever pressure of, let's just say a nominal 80%. It might be less, it might be more, but something that we're really getting the brakes done. We're probably straight up and down and maybe slightly angle, but hold that brake pressure. That's our major braking zone. That's where we're going to get the majority of our braking done. Now, as we start to begin to tip in, I'm not dumping that lever. I'm slow as I do this whole concept of remember 100 points of traction. Initial pull, load the tire. Major brake zone, major brake zone. Now I start building lean angle. As I build lean angle, I've got to trade cornering braking points for cornering points, right? So now I don't dump the lever. I slowly release pressure. As my lean angle increases, I release pressure, release pressure, release pressure, release pressure. That's trailing off the brakes. People get trailing off or trail braking as using the rear brake. No, it's a technique of how you're releasing the lever. It's trading cornering traction, braking traction for cornering traction. Because as the steeper lean angle gets, I have less points of traction available to corner, right guys? All that? So therefore, if I'm using 50 points to corner, I've only got 50 points to brake, so I got to release some brake pressure. That's trailing off the brakes. So in a zone, as I come in, think about coming down the straightaway here as we go into turn 16 or turn 1 today, right here, right by the wall. Okay, look at your map there. As I come in, I initial pull straight up and down. I hold the brake lever pretty steady. Now we're trying to look through the wall that we can't see. We start to build some lean angle. I don't dump the brake lever. Now I'm leaving pressure. And as soon as I see that apex cone, I'm going to see, is my trajectory right or is it wrong? If it's right, then I might slowly release the brake pressure. If it's wrong and I have to tighten my line, I might hold that brake pressure or release it slower until I slowed enough speed that my trajectory comes in and I put my bike in position to accelerate off of this turn 1. That's how we're using the same analogy, but breaking it down into brake zones rather than loading the tire and it being lighter and longer. Does that make sense, guys?
When you come down the straight into the first corner, do you tap like a 5% and then trail in, or do you just trail?
I never tap anything. Tapping is a concept I want you to erase from your vocabulary. It is I'm rolling off the throttle. Immediately as I'm rolling off the throttle, I'm going to grab the lever and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My hand moves that slow. Freddie Spencer said this. He said, fast riders have slow hands because bikes can handle tremendous loads. They cannot handle them abruptly. So as long as we're smooth and we're doing right, man, if I just went to 80% brake pressure with maybe not much lean angle, a little bit, I could tuck the front and I'd be down. But if I build brake pressure, all of a sudden now my back end slide around and I've got the front stuck like glue because I'm loaded. I got there properly. So what I'm doing, Larry, is I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it as I'm still up, straight up and down, getting a lot. I'm holding lever, and then as I'm braking and adding lean angle, I'm releasing pressure. I'm not dumping, I'm releasing pressure, and I'm checking the whole time. Is my trajectory right? Is my trajectory right? Look at the exit, the apex one. And once it's right, then I might slowly 2, 3. I might go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But if it's not right, I'm going to hold at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once I know my trajectory's right, I'm never dumping it. But that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here. That makes sense, guys? Okay. This is a game changer. It's a game changer for me of learning I can turn with the front brake on, learning I can tighten my line, I can make all kinds of minute adjustability. But if all I have is 0, 50, and 100 on the brake pressure, I can't do this. But if this is a dimmer switch and I have input and adjustability, game changer. Jake, anything you want to comment on this? Before we jump on to other parts here?
Just like you said about bikes, the smoother you are, the better your input is to the bike. If you're abrupt in everything you do, from switching sides of the bike, setting up for a turn, you're quick like that, and you upset the bike is going to act the way that you treat it. You know, you're going to have a greater chance of crashing if you're abrupt in all your movements when you're on the bike. If you're smooth, squeeze, not pull, but if you, just like a gun, you don't pull the trigger, you squeeze the trigger. If you squeeze your brakes and you're smooth, if your transitions from one side to the other are smooth, if everything you do is smooth, your bike is going to react smooth. But if you're abrupt with everything you do, you're going to look like this. This is all.
This is R&D testing, right?
Yeah, this is all the mistakes and learning over the years of trying different things. That okay, maybe I'm going to try this. Nope, that didn't work. That was an expensive mistake. So it just like Mark says, the smoother that you are with everything you do, the better your bike is going to react.
Any comments or questions you guys have?
Corner number 2.
Over there, that one over there, going direction we're going today. Yes. Yeah.
Not the last one, but
Yep.
it's asphalt.
Yeah, and then concrete. Yeah. I still stay, but if you notice that apex is right about in the middle of the concrete, it's a little bit on the far side, which is fine.
Yeah.
When I've got my tip in, like we were talking about, when I know my trajectory is right, just about the time I'm getting to the concrete, I'm slowly letting go of the brake lever by that point, and I'm transitioning on the throttle. If I do it right. Now, there's been a few times I get in there, my bike direction is not quite right, and I got to stay with the brake lever and tighten my line up, and I'll carry it right on the asphalt. That asphalt's got grip.
It's very
Yeah, but
safe.
the concrete.
Yeah, the concrete too. I meant to say concrete, my bad. The concrete as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
haven't had any issues with that, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I was staying on the asphalt, and I was like, well, I got an extra 4 feet.
Why not use it,
Why
right?
not cut it tighter? So
That last session I did, each that you talked about, I
Yeah.
had to brake all the way through it on one. I braked to like go right in the middle on another.
Yeah.
And then I had to brake enough beforehand that I could ride through it.
Oh.
This is the first time I've ever done it. I mean, it's phenomenal. I heard this, and when I came over here, I said, I'm going to do this today. But I didn't know until that first session when I started doing it in the second lap. This last session, I was braking into everything the whole way.
It's a game
It's
changer.
phenomenal. Way
It really is. When you learn to use the brake lever right and learn you can turn the brake lever on and how it makes the bike respond, it changes
Well, that's
your
what I
ride.
liked. It didn't feel like a fear. I've had a fear of the front brake when you go and you dive. I've always wrote, you dive hard with the brakes and then you let up way before the corner so that you never put the brake into the corner. And this is way smoother, way easier.
That's what most motorcycles
I mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, but safety makes sense. On the road, you
Well, but
safe, you go straight, then you
It
look,
makes sense,
then
but
okay.
I'm gonna argue it's not safer. It sounds safer, but the reality is it isn't. The problem is most beginners don't have a precise brake lever. They have a 0, 50, and 100 lever, so when that's all they have, I see why they teach them to do that. But the reality is once you improve your skills and you learn how you can do it, you'll be much safer with a light brake lever.
You probably teach how to stop the bike,
Yes.
to slow down the bike.
Exactly.
You stop the bike, there is a red light, stay straight,
Yep.
brake,
Yep.
finish.
Yep.
Next goal.
Did that answer your question in turn 2 though, about the concrete?
Yeah, so
Don't be nervous about it. It's actually a smooth transition and the grip is just as good.
there's a strip of concrete also down here.
There's none that I go across. There's
On the outside.
oh yeah, on the outside there's a couple out there. On the exit of I think it's 13 there is going this direction, and the exit in case people run wide, and just give you a little bit of extra comfort. Jump. There's a big jump.
That's good. If you go wide, just jump.
Yep. All right, let's get points 10 and 11 done here. You heard me talk about taking the rear brake lever away, the rear brake away. That's where I want you to get all your downshifts done as soon as possible. So like when I come down here, if I'm running at my pace, I do 2 downshifts into turn 16 or our turn 1 today, okay? And I'm gonna do them that quick. As soon as I'm rolling off the throttle, my clutch is in and I'm grabbing a downshift and then I grab another one really quick.
So you have a second gear?
I'm going from 4th gear down to 2nd there, yes. Yep.
It helps you to keep the line tight. Okay.
It's going to help scrub speed. But remember I talked about since I'm taking the rear brake away, I'm counting on that engine compression being there, which helps bring the speed down. I'm on the front brake lever as well, and then my engine compression is my rear brake. But get your downshifts, whether it's 1 downshift done, as soon as you're off the throttle, that's when you want to get whatever downshifts you're doing done. Okay, we'll talk about next session how you choose your gear selection, not your gear, but your transmission gear. You choose that at corner entry for corner exit because you want to be in the power band coming off the corner. So get there as soon as you can. So that's what I want you to do. The other thing, point 11, is removing wheel hop. How many guys have ever come into a slow corner and have a bike go, okay? What happens is you've dumped the clutch, and the clutch grabs, and now you got the inertia of the engine, and the tire, of traction of the tire, and the inertia of the engine wins because it's got more mass, and that tire it'll skip, trying to speed the engine up. So there's several things we can do. Number 1 is to blip. Okay, that's all it is rev matching. You're trying to rev it because you're dropping a gear, you're trying to bring the RPMs up, so let the clutch out, it's close. That's one thing, but it takes a lot of talent to get used to doing this. Watch what it's doing to my brake lever. It's brake moves this way, when you blip, it moves perpendicular. The perpendicular forces, and it gets a wow to where you're not doing this at the same time you're blipping. It takes practice. It took me 2 years to perfect it. You blip? How long did it take you to perfect it? Yeah, it takes a while. So you're not you're not doing that going in the corner. So work with it. And a blip is a bark. If a rev is a ring, a blip is rup, rup, rup. That's all it is. It's a quick little rev thing like that. That's one thing you can do. The other thing is to feather your final clutch release on downshift. Most guys do a downshift and they dump the clutch on their last downshift. They dump it on every downshift, but your last downshift especially. Try this. This is the cheapest slipper clutch known to man. My bike doesn't have a slipper clutch yet. I have one right here. Okay? So when I do my final downshift, if it's 1, 2, or 3, doesn't matter. Whatever one is my last one. When I release that clutch lever, I'm releasing it like this. Okay? So this, in effect, the releasing of my clutch lever is my rear brake because it's using engine compression, and this is my front brake. So as I come into a corner, I'm doing this kind of an action. And if I start to get some slide because I'm letting the clutch out too fast, I bring a little bit of pressure back in, and now it doesn't slide, and the tire hooks back up. This is how you remove wheel hop and sliding coming in. And the harder you start getting on the front brake, as you guys start developing confidence with that front brake lever, you realize you're doing this motion more and more. Now your contact patch to the rear is going to go from a small silver dollar to the size of your thumb to the size of your pinky nail. Pretty soon you're not going to have much contact, and it's not going to take much at all for that tire to move around. So you got to be really good with feathering that clutch out. So what I would love for you guys today is just to even get to the concept and realize that, wow, I'm dumping the clutch on the final release, I should be a little bit smoother. That's another game changer. So play with that. That will remove wheel hop. It'll also control a little bit of sliding if you're on the brakes hard coming into the corner. Feather that clutch release out. It's a huge one.
Do you blip on like sweep on clutch?
Yeah. I'm just a blip. I just like to blip. I like everything to be smooth. But you know, if you have a bike with a slipper clutch anymore nowadays, like her bike, she has an auto blipper on it. She just downshifts and it automatically blips for her without doing anything with the throttle.
My car does that too.
So a lot of the newer R1s do it, the BMWs do it, the ZX10s do it. I think the new Honda does it too. We're getting into an age where we're taking a lot of rider skill out out of it, making it all electronics. But if your bike has it, it's one less thing you don't have to worry about.
Alpha blip I don't have. I was super class.
Yeah.
So I was used to blip. I didn't blip.
I like it just because it's a good habit. That way, if I switch to a bike that doesn't, I'm never out of habit. And since I ride a lot of different bikes, it's good. But you, if you only ride one bike, and you got it. You know what you're dealing with, so you don't have to. Yeah, if you got a slipper clutch, it really does remove a lot of it. So keep that in the same grain of salt. But most of us, or a lot of us, don't, and so it's a good habit to develop to work on.
My 1000's just as smoother when I blip it right. You know, I'm a little lazy. My KZ, 1980 KZ, obviously didn't, so it's all the time. You know, but the 1000, when I'm blipping it right, it's just smoother, even with the slipper clutch.
Comments, questions on scrubbing speed? Alright, so in addition to whatever your instructor tells you to work on this session, I want you guys to try and being lighter and longer on the brakes. Just see how long you can be lighter. Well, I tell you guys to do a test in the pits here. Larry, can I borrow your bike for a second?
Sure.
Come on up, guys. We're just going to walk over to Larry's bike here. I want you to do something here.